Hello, Andrew Huang, Moon Hooch, and whoever is going to be watching this. This is just going to be a really quick breakdown of what I did to make my song Huang Song, which is uh, a song that I made using the Moon Hooch and Andrew Huang sample pack that they put out. And I really like this song. I think it's really cool. So I'm just going to go through it real quick. So I'm just going to talk about what I did to the Moon Hooch samples, uh, and I'll do some other things. But um, I just made some drums to start off with, and those drums sound like this. So in the drums, the only thing that's from the Moon Hooch sample pack is this, which is just a octave up of the metallic shot of this sound. I just put it up an octave, and put some reverb on it, and came out with this. And then I ended up making a bass line, and this is the bass line. So then after that, what I did was I took the elephant sample and I copied the pattern of it and then shifted around some of the notes so that it made a melody. And then after that, I took the Moon Hooch sample Overblown B, which is in textures, this one. And I just put a LFO tool on it with some reverb and gave it, the LFO tool gave it a rhythm. And that is it for that section. And then for little bass fills at the end of every two bars is this one is the first one. And that is the watery texture. I just picked a specific part of it that I really liked, distorted it. Well, I didn't really distort it, but I just put an OTT on it. Cut back the depth a little bit, turned it up, and then I just found a peak that I really like, and that essentially distorted it. Because I just turned that peak all the way up, and with OTT, it essentially made it sound distorted. So if I take away the EQ, it's not really that distorted. It still is, but not as much as with the EQ. And then I have ozone imager on just about everything to make it a little wider. So I'm not going to explain that every time. But then I just put a white noise and then a bass, which is just the bass of this sound, of that sound, but just completely only the low frequencies. And then all that together makes this sound. So I like that. And then we have a loop here. It is this one. I just took that and I boosted up the low end and some like high end stuff. Distorted it, put an OTT on it. And ended up doing some stuff that actually counteracts each other, I think, which is I put the bass in mono, then right after it, I stereo imaged it, which I think just made it wider, but it sounds cool. So, I mean, sounds all right. And I guess if it sounds all right, it is all right. So that ended up sounding like this. So remember, it started from this and ended up being this. So I really like that sound. That's actually one of my favorite sounds that I've made sound design wise for a little bit. It was a pleasant surprise when it turned out that way. So if we take exactly that sound and we just cut back some of the peaks in the low end, cut back some of the peaks in the mid, and cut out the peak in the high, then you get this. Well, also pitch it up, dial back some of the distortion, and you get this. So that's just pitching it up with beats, and then I left the forward transient. What is it? The forward transient loop mode on, and that just did that. So then at the very end, I start to pitch up the thing because it goes into a two. I pitch up the whole song, especially specifically the melody parts, like the bass line and all of that, to go to the 2 semitone up transition. So this is the same sound as this, but it just pitches up 2 semitones. And then you go into this section. So the only thing that is different other than the pitch up is the drums. So what I ended up doing was I just took the drums that I already had, made a new pattern, and then I just got some DMB style breaks and just put them in between every snare. So in between every snare is a break. And I also have the crashes from the beginning of this break on every kick. So that ends up making it sound like this. The only thing is that I took the normal hi-hats that was already in the song and I reversed it. So that makes the drum pattern sound like this. And I also used the loop off transient, so transient loop mode, and I cut the transients about in half so that it gets choppy for this part. And that's about it for that section. Then the only difference in this section is that I have these 2 risers. So the first one is just a completely random, like all of this is just random. So just a completely random, like robotic sound. And then we have like a detuned saw, but it's not really a saw. It's like a kind of saw. And that's about it. And then we have the bridge. So, or whatever you want to call this. I call it a bridge because it bridges the first and second drop. So, I'm actually really proud of this as well, because I'm not too good at doing this yet. I haven't done too much of it, but I took the very first loop and I just took a very small section of the very beginning of that. And what I did was I just put some reverb on it, put some OTT and EQ so that I can get some of the high end out. I actually cut back some of the high end because OTT puts a lot of high end in your sound. So, and then I just tuned it to middle C, tuned the note to middle C so that I could play it like a keyboard. And I ended up being able to play it just like a keyboard. So I played this chord pattern. I guess you could call it a chord pattern. But it is just octaves. And it just alternates between those the entire time, and it sounds very eerie. So actually, my inspiration for this part of the track was the video game Doom. Um, I was thinking of an old Doom song that I really like, and that's essentially where the melody came from. But then the background ambiance actually came from the 2016 game Doom, where I was trying to put myself in the situation of I think it's the first or second mission on there where it's like you're on Mars, uh, and it's with a dust storm. It's windy, and it's like he's the only person that is there because all the demons have taken over everything else. So I wanted to give it that type of dreary vibe. So what I did was I took a uh, field recording or Foley recording of a fan that was in my living room, uh, to old fan that sounds like this. And then I got an actual recording of a sandstorm from YouTube. And I like that I kept in the very like wind getting hit like on the mic because it makes it feel more real. Um, so all of that together sounds like this. So the only other thing before I start this, the only other thing that I did was I faded it in using the frequency, using the filter within Simpler. And then at the very end, it all three of them reverb out, as you could see. They all reverb out, and so it can make a really cool transition. So what I wanted it to be was it was like, this is the Doom Slayer from Doom, or whatever you want to call him, Doom guy. This is him at his point where he's realizing this may be too much for me, and he's just standing outside in the dust on Mars, and then he gets hit with the realization that I don't have time for this because demons are still here and they're still trying to kill me, and then this happens. So he's right back in the action. So the only thing that I did for this section is I essentially just made a different pattern. Everything is exactly the same, so I won't go over the processing that I did. I will go over the processing of what I did with this real quick because I think it was pretty cool. Which was the elephant sample in both the first and second drop. I put an auto pan on them so that they can be panned just like the white noise is. So, I'm gonna be honest, I don't really know exactly what this does, but I know that it makes it sound a lot grittier when you do that with the white noise and push it into the bass. So if we take that away and just play the bass, it's gritty, it's good, but adding that gives it a little bit of extra something and a little bit of like a tinny feeling that I liked. So I did the same panning, but not as fast to the elephant sample. So I did that in the first and second drop. But this time I just stretched it and pitched it up every time that the bass line went up. So what I did with the bass line was I did a very classic neuro respace technique where back in the day what they used to do was they would press two notes together to get movement. So I just did that. And yeah, so that's that. And then right here we have a pitch down two semitones. So what I thought would be cool is because I pitched up two semitones, I could pitch down two semitones from a D sharp to a C sharp. Which is a really low note, I know. But I think it sounds really dark, really menacing, and really cool. So, mainly the thing with the drums is I just wanted this drum pattern to shine a little more because I really liked it and I wanted to do something for it. So I just did this really big, epic, like punch in the face of just a straight, just burnt sound. So I just wanted it to be like a very aggressive comeback after that rest you get. So that's that. The only thing I changed in the drums is these drums are actually pitched up two semitones. And this is what the original sounds like. So it's just a slight pitch up because I think that works better. I don't know. It's just something I made on the fly and listened to it and it sounded cool. So, and then after we get a sweep, it goes right back into, I just took the first half of this first drop and put it right back in there. So the only thing that I changed was I added a extra snare. Just one that is pitched down 6 semitones. So the reason why I just put the first half again in there of the first drop is because I kind of wanted it to be like the chorus. It's like the part you remember. That's the melody that gets stuck in your head. Dun 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 dun. So it's kind of like where you get like a song where the singer sings the chorus, and then when they sing the second chorus, they change the first half, and then when they say the chorus again, it's just the same thing. But I just thought it would be nice to come back to that because that will be the finisher. That's the ending of it, and that's it. And it ends on the same high note that it came in on. So the first drop was this really cool thing that grabs everybody. The second drop starts as like a punch in the face of just an assault of bass, and then it comes back to what we heard, we get familiar again, and then we end. So, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. My name is Passcode again. I don't know if I said that, but my name is Passcode. If you want to hear the whole song, the song will be in the description of the video. If you're coming from the SoundCloud song to here, thank you for coming here. So thank you very much for watching. I know it's a little long, but I just wanted to do a little thing. So thank you very much, and I hope you all have a good day.